This year, 2022, marked a clear shift from glamorous films to content-oriented cinema. The leading ladies constructed their own paths to more nuanced and multi-layered portrayal of women and sparkling stories. Vidya Balan in Jalsa played a self-righteous woman who impressed one and all with her effortless portrayal of a multi-layered character. Huma Quereshi in Monica Oh My Darling, Maharani and Double XL redefined womanhood on screen. From playing a femme fatale in one and the CM of a state in another, she brought authenticity to all the characters she played. Nimrat Kaur, as the CM of a male-dominated state, makes a big statement on the equation of marriage and tickled and surprised her audience in a comic role. Mrunal Thakur as Noor Jahan in Sita Ramam stitches love, longing and wait for her lover in a colourful film that epitomized a love saga. They gather for Actresses Roundtable and discuss the new skills they acquired this year, pay parity, social media following of an actor, the best and worst part of being a Hindi cinema actress. Hello and welcome to the annual Round Table. What a beautiful year 2022 was. Our leading ladies, our female actors took chances with the kind of characters that they were playing on screen. And what came out of it was simply mesmerizing. We have all the leading ladies right here on the round table. Huma Quereshi, Nimrat Kaur, Vidya Balan and Mrunal Thakur. Welcome. Okay ladies, what a beautiful year this has been. 2022 actually was quite different from the other years. You in Monica Oh My Darling and this beautiful web series called Maharani where you played the CM of Bihar. You also played the CM of a state.
Yes, they're contesting elections.
Contesting elections.
Season 3 mein aana kya?
Nimrat Devi. You played Maya Menon, a journalist, I guess a character that you've never played before.
Yeah.
And you played Noor Jahan in Sita Ramam, which was such a beautiful, aesthetically it was such a pleasing film. And you were so pleasing as the princess of a state. What is the happiest and the most pleasant memory from your professional life this year?
Oh, wow. Huma.
नहीं
पहले आप लगता है लखनऊ में आदाब. My God, I think just doing Jalsa was, I shot for it last year, but when I watched it, I saw things that I've done as an actor that I haven't done before. So that was a good feeling for me because now, you know, it's been 17 years.
Yes.
And I in my mind's eye, I know how it's going to look when I do something.
Right.
You know, I don't know how to describe that better, but there were some things that I said, oh, okay, interesting.
That was new.
Yeah, that was new. So that, I think, made me very happy. Yeah, after 17 years, there's still something that, that my face could express a certain emotion differently from the way I've done it before, as a different person. Because even when you're playing different people, you've got one face, one body, you come into it, right? But there were moments that I felt very good about.
Wonderful. When you talk about the volume of work, I guess you've done the maximum work with a 10-part series, Maharani, and Monica Oh My Darling, a very contemporary, quirky thriller. What was your most pleasant
I've just been working the last couple of years actually, so I have no life apart from just going to set and shooting, which actually touch wood, I hope that continues. I think the pleasant, for me, the thing is, I think post-COVID has been a bit of a rediscovery for myself in terms of what I want to do and who I am. And earlier, I think maybe I was going through this whole process of always second-guessing myself and trying to think, okay, this is what I ought to do because that's the expectation from me as a girl, as a female actor. So somewhere, I think all that time I had for myself and all the therapy I did and whatnot, I feel like it made me realize that no, I just need to do what makes me happy. And maybe it'll strike a chord. So I think that realization, and it does, you know, reflect in every aspect of your life. And I think my professional aspect is also that. But I feel a lot more at ease I'm not thinking too much or second guessing my professional choices. So if I had to play like a mother of three in a show called Maharani, you know, I'm not holding myself back saying, oh my God, teen bachon ki maa, you know, is it the end of your career? And playing Monica or my darling in the same way. I think it's because it's how you are choosing to see yourself and not getting affected by these tags or labels that you think your professional work will get for you.
And what a beautiful balance, by the way.
Thank you.
CM of Bihar and then all the red lipstick and the...
It's honestly, it's a teamwork. I know I've been part of these amazing films and series, and I've actually had a very busy, I've had 5 releases, you know, so whether it's a Tamil film, it's been Double XL, it's been Sanjay Sir's song, you know, it's been all of these things, and I feel it's just because I'm just not thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go on set and just have fun and not think about what's going to happen after this or how it's going to be received, because that I feel anyway is not in your hand. The only thing in your hand is your work.
Yeah, correct. What about you, Nimrat? All of us were very, very pleasantly surprised to see you perform so well. It was so authentic, the portrayal of a Haryanvi woman.
Yeah.
Go on.
Thanks. You know, it was actually the most frightening part that I've attempted or taken up. And I was really wondering, what is it that's making these guys want me to do it? Because I was like, I know I want to do it. I'm frightened as hell when I was, you know, getting out of that office that day after, you know, you hear the one line or whatever. You know you want to do it. It's like, you know, a date gone well. you know, there's something out there.
I like that.
But you're like, you know, I know I want to date this guy, but, you know, like, you know, let's see now what happens. And I was really frightened. But honestly, that was the biggest payoff, because, you know, I took up something, I went into it, you know, neck deep, and I just really just went into it with everything I could, whether it was you know, the weight I had to put on, or the accent I had to learn, or the fun I had to have, and it's the antithesis of a person that I reckon with in day-to-day life that I am. Because, you know, like
being an army kid,
you know, you're kind of, you know, expected to behave a certain way, the good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. You know, that life is what you understand most, and that's most natural for you. So it was actually a part that was so exciting and all of that good stuff, because it was the most frightening for me. So I went into it and bas wo jai bajrang bali and dived into it.
So what was the happiest memory?
The happiest memory was actually that people were stunned, they didn't recognize me. Yeah, including my mother, because she, you know, when I used to go home to Delhi, she used to just look at me and she's like, beta tu theek ho jayegi.
I know exactly what you mean.
Because she could see that she could not relate to, you know, what I was trying to do at home, or, you know, sometimes I would say the lines and all that. She's like,
Can I button quickly those
Please
pictures you put out of yourself in that process of putting on that weight? I thought that was so cool. Like, that was so brilliant, and that was so brave, and I think like it was like reclaiming your body back, and I just love that. I absolutely love that.
I'm greatly inspired by all of you guys at this table, and I have to say that, you know, we all draw courage and inspiration from each other, knowingly, unknowingly. We all don't meet that much.
Yes.
But, you know, these are conversations that are happening for the first time in life, in the world, internationally and domestically. So it will be very, I think, you know, very narrow-minded of me to say that it was my idea and it was this and that. I've been seeing this around me, whether you've, you know, spoken about it, Vidya, you've spoken about it for years now, you know. I recall with Dirty Picture, you know, these are, you know, these are conversations which need to be had on a daily basis.
Yes.
And I had my own takeaway about what it did to me and what I understood of body shaming and people just, you know, thinking that they have a right to say whatever the hell they want to.
Right.
Because before a hello, how are you, it's like, Arey,
Mooti ho gayi?
You lost so much weight. Yeah, right, I know.
But it's always the other way around.
Yeah.
this is a license.
Yeah.
Wow. So I really enjoyed, and kind of, it was an interesting process to observe all of this for me.
And as an actor, it's very important because an actor is always so concerned and aware of how he must look to be in the profession, and getting rid of all those fears is so liberating sometimes.
Yeah.
So that was the happiest
Yes.
takeaway from those experiences. What about you, Mrunal?
Just to be able to face the camera, because that's exactly what I wanted all my life to do. And to be able to get that platform. And see, when I entered this industry, I always had a vision. I always know what my tomorrow is like.
Really?
So when I signed this film, 2.5, almost 3 years ago, people were like, how smart, Mrunal, you signed a South film and South films are doing great. I said, no, I did it like 3 years ago. But the vision I have for me is to be able to speak in different languages. Earlier, there was a stereotype. People try to put me in a box saying that, I started with a particular medium, so they would give me that title of a particular
this
actor.
whole TV versus film debate.
But I think
is
now
also
it's
passé.
done and dusted.
yeah.
So I came up with this thing that how about I do Marathi cinema, I do Hindi cinema, I do Telugu cinema, Malayalam cinema, Punjabi cinema, and Gujarati cinema.
You've done all of this.
I mean, why not?
You've done?
No, not done. But that's what I'm doing.
Yes, yes.
Wow, kitna kam.
I did Marathi. I did.
really?
Telugu.
Marathi?
Yeah, I started with Marathi. So
Which film was that?
this is Surajya, Viti Dandu, Hello Nandan.
Okay.
And then I realized that, what? We are at a stage where we need to represent cinema as Indian cinema.
Yeah.
And for me, the biggest dream is to be able to act in different languages.
Yes.
And yet, so for me, when I was facing the camera on the sets of Sita Ramam, I would not just learn my dialogues, but I would learn my co-actor's dialogues also.
I believe that, yes,
Because I need to know what he's saying, right? And because sometimes what happens, you end up reacting before, and that pregnant pause is so important in one particular scene that scene holds on that. It's not always the dialogues. It's not always who's saying how much. Sometimes, like I studied Irfan sir, like he would just look into the camera and with those pauses, he would just kill it. So the happiest memory is again like for me to be able to be on sets. Last night I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and he said, I have realized that you're happier when you're on sets than when you're not working.
True.
And I think that's what I always wished for, and I hope that till the last breath of my life I keep working.
Yes, that's the
Yes
thing.
to that.
Yes to that. There was a time when, as everybody sat on the table, the first word that you mentioned was, let's have a cat fight in a lighter note, right? And in the 90s, all these publications would, that would be a major portion of their publicity or film content around cinema. Now we are, thank God, over that. As women in the industry, as female actors in the industry, what's the situation now? Is there a camaraderie? Is there harmony? Is there enough work for all women? Or we're still a few inches away from that stage?
I think a big change lies in the fact that we are no longer just playing appendages to the men.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think we all are playing women who have identities of their own. And we are kind of headlining films, we're in a way ruling the roost.
Yeah.
So I think we're very comfortable. There is competition, undoubtedly. It's not like I don't know what another actor's film does at the box office. Of course, now box office is, it's at the moment not doing so well, but generally, but I'm saying all that's healthy competition that we're not doing away with, but I definitely think that we're all, I think
There's no jealousy anymore.
no, and even if
what
there's
is I mean anymore, no, I think it's a narrative, right? People get along or people don't get along. I could not get along with a person and that person could be a guy. It's got nothing to do with gender. And two women can get along fabulously. So I think it's a very person specific things, but sometimes these things also get spoken about and reported in media as some narrative thing, oh, women don't get along.
Because it sells.
And also because it sells.
It just sells. It's entertainment for people to hear that.
Exactly. And like what Vidya also said, it's like we are no longer appendages to men. Now we're also doing our own films. So it's not like आपका role क्या है, hero की girlfriend या hero की बीवी या hero की बहन.
Right.
Now it's like you're also demanding and asking and saying like, okay, no, give me something more to do. I can do more. So make me do more. It's also that.
Yeah.
And I feel that's also going to change. And we're going to constantly keep pushing the envelope. And I'm not saying that there's not going to be healthy competition, but I feel like, I personally get along more with women. I feel like they're easier to work with.
Yeah, me too.
And far less complicated and easier to talk to. You can just have a conversation and be like, okay, this is not working or working. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
In fact, I just worked with Sonakshi. I just worked with Mrunal on a film that's going to come out. We had an absolute blast. I'm sure. It's just so much fun. It's just so much ease. Even work with female directors. It's a lot of fun.
absolutely.
Yeah. Have you worked with each other in projects?
No, unfortunately, I have been dying to work
Sarah, you
with
haven't.
them.
That's what I realized. You haven't.
Yeah.
Let's put it out there.
Let's put it out there.
But having said that, Atika, like when I was praising an actress and I took her name and the journalist was so shocked. She's like, wow, You took
How
her
sweet of
name.
you.
How sweet of you. I said, why not? Like, I'm incredibly happy with what Tripti Dimri is doing with Kala. At the same time, Huma, what she's done with, you know, Monica, oh my darling. I think everyone can't be sun. One has to be a moon, and they both shine at their own time.
How wonderful.
Wow,
What a line.
lovely.
What a line. If
इनको
only we can...
भेजेंगे हम अंग्रेजी रेखता में. Did I say that correctly?
क्या बात है.
I would love, I mean,
Soft
Urdu
plug-in.
to humse soft plug-in.
Very interesting. So, okay, tell me, what was the hardest skill that you have acquired or had acquired in the last few years or particularly this year?
Hardest skill?
Yeah, for a role, for a character that you had to play. She had some nice scenes where she was, you know, in those classical dance.
You know, Kathak, there's a lovely story. I was learning Kathak during Super 30. I couldn't showcase as much, but thank God I got an opportunity, you know, with Sita Ramam. I could do, you know, some mixture of Bharatnatyam and everything was, it was so, like, so lovely where I could actually, I had a platform where I could do all these nazakat and, you know. Having said that, the hardest skill for me was on this particular film, the language, and to be able to communicate with the, you know, the director, because I really wanted. Sometimes I was struggling as to what the director actually wants from me, and so language is something that I'm really working on at this point of time. But having said that, I have been working on 2 different films at the same time, which was my mistake.
Okay.
And I have taken an oath right now that I will not do 2 films at the same time. I'll focus on one.
That's an oath very early on in your career.
But you know, that's fair. I should be fair to the character. Sometimes when I would come back home, I would feel like I'm cheating on that character, and it just puts you, you know, you feel like guilty, you know, like it's not fair. One day you're here, one day you're there. I don't want to do that.
That's also a way of looking at your craft. How about you, Vidya?
I'm thinking, what is the toughest skill? I think...
You ran over someone very well in the movie.
No, I think, you know, in Jalsa, I had to change, I explored different ways of breathing.
Oh.
And because she has panic attacks. And because visually you don't want it to look the same every time she's having a panic attack, I worked with Pooja Swaroop, who does a lot of these acting workshops. I worked with her a bit also because I'm mother to a child with cerebral palsy, you know, and I wanted to understand what cerebral palsy actually means, how it impacts the child's life and also the parents' life and, you know, lives and everything. And I think I enjoyed the process of those workshops, both on the breathing and with the boy. Because, you know, we needed, there was one scene, of course, finally, in the edit, they put it to music, but there's a scene when I'm very brutal, when I say things to him that I couldn't get myself to even, every time I'd tell Suresh, like, you know, is this really required, you know, can you not, and he'd say, no, this is really, it's your worst fears exploding.
Okay.
So you have to be able to, because you're so scared for him that you're actually being nasty to him because you want to protect him, because you're wondering how the decision you've taken, your action is going to impact your child, and especially this child who you feel needs even more protection than.
Yeah.
So I was really panicking, and then he got in Pooja Swaroop, and you know, also she's a kind of a held-in person. She's not very expressive. She's not very even demonstrative with her kids. So I didn't want it to look like false.
Yeah.
You know, and I enjoyed those workshops I did, and exploring the breathing. I have to tell you that the outcome of that was that there were times when I'd lose it. I'd get so angry after the workshop. Because when you alter your breathing, all kinds of things, you can start crying a lot, you can get angry, it can have all kinds of impacts. And it was fascinating to me because I'm not a trained actor. So for me to have gone through that process was very interesting.
And would you recommend that to every actor? To
No,
go
it
through
really
these
depends
breathing?
on the role, and you know, of course there is a school of acting, the Veena Pani Chawla School of Acting, which not just school of acting, but I think it's they
Breath and spine
they
work
do
and
breath
down
work.
south.
Yeah. So I think people do use that method, but I'm someone who's never known any method to. I've been exploring my
You made
way.
your own method.
Yeah, you made your own method. That's true. And I always say that she uses her voice and her smile and her laughter very positively to make a character really lovable. Even if that character is a little grey or sometimes nasty, you still, you know, I always mention that scene to her in तुम्हारी Suru, the husband says कि पार्टनरशिप कर लेते हैं, साथ में करते हैं. पार्टनरशिप में मुझे कुछ जमेगी नहीं. Amazing, amazing. So Nimrat, what about you? Tell me a skill that you had to learn.
This time, for Dasmi, I mean, it wasn't this year, because we started work on it pre-COVID. So Haryanvi was, you know, was very exciting to learn, and you know, accents are such a guilty pleasure to learn because you're like, oh, I'll have so much to talk about. You know, after the film releases, hopefully it'll be all good stuff. So maza bada aaya usme because every language has a rhythm. You know, everything has a musicality about it. So we had a wonderful dialogue coach, a dialect coach, Sunita ji, and she's one of the best in the business. And you know, unki personality bhi bahut, it was very, very colorful for me to, you know, take inspiration from. She's from Haryana, and you know, she was really exciting to be around.
So say a dialogue.
Arey baapre, I know.
Please give that bhashan wala thing when you scold your husband wo wala.
Ki ab aap CM ke husband ho. So I think for me na, one more thing was that I did not want her to be an unlikable person. It's very easy to do that with characters which are written for, you know, bringing the sort of the greyness of the script out. It's very important to do that for me, and I've always enjoyed bringing some kind of a humanity or some fun to a part which is actually written for, you know, being disliked.
Even like, bad people have likable qualities.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
On their worst day, they'll be entertaining at the very least.
You're right, you're right. So, you know, in the process of a character being written to the director envisaging it, कि मैं कैसा इसको करना चाहता हूँ, to the actor who has her own or his own style of approaching a person's character or personality, that character goes through a big paradigm shift from the paper to actually on the set.
एक instinct होती है. Like for me, whether I played Monica or I think very early on I played a sex worker in Badlapur.
Yeah.
For me, it was very important that at any given point of time, they were not only likable, they also always kept their dignity as people.
Yes, yes.
You know what happens that very often, if women are especially grey, then we start labeling them or calling them certain things, and I feel that's like, you know, problematic for me at least. I feel like, why? Like they're just people in a situation making some bad choices, some good choices, and you know, they should. So I feel that is really important for me. Like, how do you find that balance? Like, and Monica, like she's as grey gets. She's sleeping with and blackmailing the entire office. But you know, how do you still make her likable? How do you still make people feel bad when she dies and be like, "Arey yaar, shit." Is it a spoiler? I'm sure people have seen the film now.
Everybody has watched it till now.
So you know, that kind of a thing. So that I enjoy a lot. And
but how did you make her likable? How do you make a character likable, even if it is not likable on paper?
I think
that's a challenge.
It's both, right? It's what you want to say, and it's also you have to give credit to the writers and the director because it's also the lens through which they shoot it. I like playing real three-dimensional characters, you know, and I don't see them as black or white. I feel everybody's grey. You know, even a very doting father can get very upset at their child and hit them in a moment of just, you know, anger or whatever. And is that wrong? Absolutely. And so a really bad human being, a woman who maybe sells a body, can also be a really nice person.
Nice person.
You know, and I find that very interesting because I feel otherwise just to play cardboard cutout characters, especially for girls. ये अच्छी लड़की है, ये heroine है, ये vamp है. मतलब please, like we are not like that, you know, like how suffocating to play characters like that.
Yeah, you know, Premchand very famously said, एक पुरुष में जब स्त्री के गुण आते हैं तो आप उसको देवता समझने लगते हैं और एक स्त्री में जब पुरुष के गुण आते हैं तो आप उसको कुलटा बुलाने लगते हैं. So that's the society that we're living in, and when you get those characters, it's such a challenge for you कि आप कैसे उसको portray करें कि एक certain अंदाज में ही वो receive किया जाए. So that is where the actor matters. That is where the medium matters. The
also,
person
it's
who's
very
playing
important, Ratika, to not judge what you're playing, I think. It starts there,
So true.
It's very important, you know, because unknowingly we are always judging ourselves, people around us, what we read, and everything has an impact on us, knowingly, unknowingly, subconsciously, wo aate rehta hai. That process is very important.
And you played a woman in Lunchbox who was a married woman, slightly dissatisfied. It was not overtly clear that she is dissatisfied, but,
But
obviously
quite
the
dissatisfied.
quite dissatisfied.
Overt matlab.
उससे ज़्यादा
It's such a challenge. I mean, she has a platonic relationship with a person, and she loves to feed him. How it's such a blurred line that the director and the actor both have to tread.
For me, with the portrayal of that girl, Ila's character, for me, the most important thing was that what is it that she's running away from exactly? Her life, her choices, her past, her conditioning.
Yeah.
So, you know, many times I've noticed that in life also, we're actually fighting battles of other people whom we've noticed around us haven't been able to fight. You know, our mothers, our sisters, our aunts. So for me, it was very important to see that what are her frustrations and where are they coming from. So many times we'll just overreact to things because we've seen it around us and we've seen people live with something forever.
Yeah.
कि it's okay, ऐसे ही चलता है, चलने दो, कोई बात नहीं, you know. So somewhere for me, the essence of her was, you know, that running away from that or getting away from that cage that she was just signed off to.
Yeah, and you know, Lunchbox was also a very classic example of human behavior in psychology, because the character had suffered from parental trauma. When the father dies and you go to your place, the first thing that your mother says is, "मुझे भूख लगी है." Oh God, she was tired of taking care of her ailing husband for years.
Absolutely.
And that's what she says to her daughter.
Yeah.
And people didn't realize the gravity of that scene. It was such a powerful scene. माँ कहती है मुझे भूख लगी है. So yeah, you're right.
It's so beautifully
And it
observed
touches
by
you because everybody goes to parental trauma. If
Yeah.
you know what I mean, in some way.
So true.
But it takes
It's
a
like
brave. It takes a brave set of people to put that, you know, in a film.
in the writing, and it's wonderful that you remember that.
Yeah,
It
and
was
our
a very
films need to be
cathartic
more
moment.
nuanced. Yes.
Yeah.
Our films need to incorporate aspects of psychology, sociology, because then it makes a nuanced piece of art.
I definitely think that's happening. Huh?
It's happening now.
You're seeing it more and more now.
In your film also, I mean, that woman who was kind of, बिचारी journalism भी देखना है, बच्चा भी देखना है, you know,
No,
the
and the
climax
fact
was
that,
very
you know,
powerful.
she had a self-image of someone who's really righteous, self-righteous. So for her to be confronted by this situation, I think was, it shakes you up, right? Because, by the way, I said no to the film.
Oh really?
First.
And what was the reason?
Because I couldn't imagine walking away from something like this. I said, no, nahi, main to nahi karungi. When the pandemic struck, I think I realized I was seeing things in a very black and white way, and I realized that, you know, who knows how we're going to behave in a situation like this. And that's when I was having a conversation with Suresh one day, and he said, I've reworked some parts of the script. So I said, okay, let me read it again. Because I knew now I was willing to put myself in that position. Initially, actually in the film, when the accident happens and she's about to get out of the car, she suddenly has flashes of her son. But Suresh very clearly didn't want to have that. He said people will know what her motivations are for walking away from that. You know, you don't have
That's where the nuance plays its part.
Yeah.
You don't have to rub it in कि नहीं लड़की बहुत अच्छी है लेकिन किसी परेशानी में है. You don't have to rub it in anymore in the script.
Audience is very smart. Yeah, they get it. They are very smart.
And the best cinema is where the audience can enter the film. You know,
How nice.
And they
we
can feel
love
relatable.
watching certain films where we've been able to gasp and, you know, blush or enter watching a
laugh
scene
or
or
clap
laugh
or
or,
whistle, like
you
I
know,
love
where
it.
the fourth wall actually becomes one with the big screen.
And when you're discussing the movie after you've watched the movie, and the person you're discussing it with has a different perspective, and you have a different perspective.
And you're like, you're watching the same film.
Same film. Exactly.
And also what's beautiful right now, like, because, you know, when I was a part of Tufan, it's Ananya who's got a profession of her own. And I was very happy when, you know, journalists also asked me that, hey, you're playing a doctor, you know, how about that? And in that movie, I don't know if many of them noticed it or not, but it's Ananya asking Aziz out. It's not Aziz asking Ananya out. So that thing has changed.
Yeah,
And it's very subtle. That's so
I
subtle,
think
but
guys should ask girls out. I like that bit. I think I want to keep.
you know, Huma, what I feel is asking is different, but chasing them is
A different thing.
yeah.
I think guys should always chase women. I think that part I want to keep.
To
Everything
not
else,
an
let's ask
extent
women.
where-
Within a marriage, I definitely believe that.
No, but I just feel like I'm so responsible, like whatever character I play, I feel responsible because someone or the other is going to pick up on that character and want to be like Ananya or want to be like Sonia or be like Sita. In that case, I don't want boys to think that, oh, hero piche pada hai, to hum bhi hero ke tarah jayenge, patayenge, you know.
True.
Shouldn't be like that. So I'm happy that one shift, I felt so good when, you know, it was the other way around. It's so minute, but just made me happy.
So true. I'll tell you a small instance. You know, Vidya, I keep doing a lot of things, not just one. So I actually wrote a script in the lockdown, and there's a romantic scene between a girl and a boy. And the boy says, can I kiss you? So the girl says, you never say that. You say, can we kiss?
Ah, nice.
Ah, nice.
So that's a
Nice, yeah.
smoother way of.
It's a shift.
It's a shift.
It's a shift. It's a
That's
shift.
what we need in cinema.
It's not a one-way thing. It's two
It's a
people.
two-way.
Yeah.
The whole consent will also come
Yes.
in, and so yeah, these are the
Yeah,
things
like
that matter.
one of my co-actor, we had a scene recently, and in the last film I did, I asked him, "Are you comfortable?" He's like, he looked at me and he's like, "I should be asking that
But I
question."
always do that. I'm like, bhai, theek hai na, if I touch you here, you're fine. Na? They're like, what the
But he was so surprised. I said, "It's okay. Even you deserve that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we need to have that conversation. Are you comfortable? Am I comfortable?"
Can I touch you here? Is this okay? Does this feel fine? Just tell me stop. Let's have a safe word.
But tell me, is it happening? What's the environment on the sets like for women now? Like, for example, if you're doing an intimate scene, now we have intimacy coaches.
Sure.
It's a new concept in India, but thank God it's there.
I think it's about safety of women. I think it's always about, because I think sometimes for calling it art, you don't realize when you're transgressing a certain space with a woman. So I think it's just to keep that in check. And I think post Me Too, we all have to be more aware of this, because some women may raise the red flag and be like, okay, listen, this is not correct. But a lot of women may feel, because of the pressure of being on a set and doing the scene and all of that, may not be able to raise their voice. So I think it's coming from that. To be honest, actually in my career, the most intimate violent scene almost that I did was for Badlapur, and that time they didn't have the concept of an intimacy director. But Pooja, you know, who was the editor of the film, she was always there. And she was like, you know, taking care of me. So I mean, in that sense, she was like my intimacy director or whatever. But I feel like I said, no, I mean, it's important, and I'm glad it's there, because the idea is to create a safe environment. As an artist, you're okay with doing a lot of things, you know, but you also want to make sure that you also have a personal space as an individual, right? So nobody should exploit that.
No, talking about these scenes, and you know, maybe storyboarding them is one aspect of it, but also talking about it. Like I remember Arshad and I had this scene in Ishqiya, and which is probably the most intimate scene that I've done. I've done one in this film called Lovers, but we had an intimacy coach, and it was all very. But during Ishqiya, I remember I told him that, you know, there were some things I was not comfortable with, like where his hands would go when the kiss was happening. So there were do's and don'ts that, and we had a conversation about it.
Right.
Abhishek Chaubey actually told us that, you know, just have this conversation and tell each other what. Actually, I guess he wanted me to tell Arshad, because, but he was very sweet about saying, you know, you all figure it out how you'll want to do it, and we actually had that conversation. It was a breeze. It happened like that.
Yes,
But I feel also
very
that,
important.
I feel
between
also that
actors.
there's a lot of responsibility that the media should also take in about talking about these scenes. You know, I feel like, I mean, now अब तो बहुत कम हो गया, but I remember, अच्छा आप इसमें kissing scene है आपका? कितने kissing scenes हैं?
What?
Yeah, people talk like that, and I'm just like, that's so wrong.
Yeah.
Like you're in a press conference and somebody's asking you a question like that. It's not cool. It's really not cool.
Because, you know, on a set, it's actually a very weird kind of a activity anyway to go through.
very clear.
You know, like everything else is broken down. Okay, you're walking here, you're doing this. Action sequences are properly choreographed. This is the one topic that, quite honestly, is everyone's nightmare. You know, from the director to everyone to, you know, everybody's kind of like a little bit tentative about it. You are a little nervous. You want to be natural, but at the same time, you have to just be so real about something so intimate. It is not easy, you know. You know, you are mic'd up, you're sweating, you've got a costume on, you've got makeup, hair, you know, everybody's
There
coming
are
and doing
angles
their
that you have to
things.
catch, you know.
It is a mechanical process that must be treated like a part of the profession. It's no voyeuristic pleasure, you know, we have our lives for that. And there are lovers and partners and boyfriends and, you know, all of that too, or girlfriends and wives that have to be comfortable with such a scenario when an artist is put in that scene. And should you choose to do it, it has to be treated with something where it's not like a hawa, you know. Ki hum sabhi घबरा रहे हैं, डर रहे हैं, you know, it's life.
I remember, like, I did a show called Leila for Netflix, and when the script came to me, there was a topless scene in it. And I was not really comfortable with it. And when Deepa and I spoke about it, she's like, you know, actually, we don't need to see it. And there was a whole discussion because I'm like, you know, sometimes I also feel these scenes are put in for just no reason. What is the need? Like, if you're trying to show somebody's humiliation or whatever, like, you actually don't need to go all out. And, you know, I feel like if mature people creatively can talk about it, then you can actually decide whether it's needed or not. As opposed to being like, ye script hai, ye karna padega. So you're just like, actually, no, I don't think so. I don't think I want to do this. Kind of
in that
like in a
case-
horror film, what you don't see is most
It's more scary.
Yeah. So
What you don't see is scary.
But on a script, when a scene like this is given to you, do you get the intention of the director? कि जरूरत नहीं है unnecessarily titillation के लिए डाल रहे हैं
वो
ये
लिखाई
scene.
में समझ आ जाता है ना.
You get that?
Yeah.
You can make out the difference between titillation and art.
पहले
Or
मुझे
if
समझ में
somebody-
नहीं आता था,
Yeah.
अब समझ में आता है.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. आपको नहीं, but
पहले समझ में नहीं आती थी मेरी. So I didn't know. I guess I would just read a script, the way it's written, you know. But now you can see the writer's intention. You can see the
it's a choice of words.
Earlier, I couldn't realize.
Yes, and
why
that
it
comes
is-
with experience, right?
But I'm really happy to be entering, you know, the industry in that phase where I do have the choices of roles. You know, there are doors open where there are women-centric films. The atmosphere on set is absolutely neutral. You know, the equal respect is given to both male and female actor. And there's no, an actor is an actor. There's no like second. Lead
or character
parallel lead or character actor
God
or
for that.
you know, so things are changing, things are getting better, and
But it's also the kind of films we're doing, I think. I'm not sure it's like that.
For everyone.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
It's also the choice of films we're doing and
Yeah.
the people we're choosing to work with who are also sensitized to this. But I hope it changes for everybody. But I think we shouldn't be talking for everyone because they're all
like
there's a different end to the
I'm
spectrum
totally,
as well.
blessed
And there are
to
also
be-
nice people coming in the industry, thankfully. You know, there were days कि वो एक पैकेट एक अटैची लेकर आते थे बैग का पैसे लगाने इंडस्ट्री में एक हिट फिल्म बनानी है. But now there are people who are here for the sake of art.
Yes.
And you
it's a
can
profession
feel
now,
that.
you know,
More
it's not
organized
really-
profession now.
कि
It's not a hand
film करनी है.
Yeah,
it's
एक
not like
picture
that.
बनानी है, hit picture बनानी है.
For that, for your association with something glamorous or larger than life. Today, people are passionate about it.
Because there's so much to choose from. So should you put out a mediocre product, people will reject it in 5 minutes. Then move on to the next best thing. So you better bring your A game, whether it's behind the scenes or on camera.
Or on camera. Okay, when you prioritize, when you want to do a character, there are various reasons to do that character. The money involved, maybe the travel, maybe the production house, maybe the character, how it will eventually improve and increase your fan following or your number of followers because it's more Gen X thing.
सब बोलने
it's-
वाले script.
सबका
answer होगा script.
सब बोलने वाले correct. But tell me, how do you prioritize? What's your, how do you categorize the reasons?
We want everything.
Yeah.
There is no
But
choice.
there aren't too many projects that ensure all of these things. So what's your personal favorite?
In my experience, you know, there are enough and more such films being offered to me, and the variety of roles has only expanded over the years. You know, and I keep saying this, that from the time I did Ishqiya, when I was being told that, you know, actress की life में एक ऐसी film होती है, to now, 14 years later, it's just, the horizon has just widened. So in terms of roles, it is better. It's, the setups are more professional.
Yes.
I definitely think the money is better, and that for me is non-negotiable today, because I give a lot of myself to the film, and I believe that I bring it value, so I need to be shown that value.
Very interesting.
And yeah, the director and the producer are extremely important for me, because you can, even if you have a great rapport with the director and you make the best film you can, you need the right producer to give it the right, you know, to a canvas in every way, you know, to have an atmosphere conducive to everyone giving it their best. To have the right kind of people. Only a seasoned producer knows which are the people to bring together. Maybe because I'm married to one today, I understand it that much more. You know, but also then to give it the right kind of, to know today, for example, the easiest example would be what is, you know, an OTT film, what is a theatrical film, what are the things that you can, I don't know, it's just, it's the entire package.
Entire package? It's
Yeah.
like doing a film is like choosing a life partner. You need so many things, but you hardly get 4 to 5 only, and there are some things that you have to kind of be okay with. Theek hai, chalo, it's okay. Let's focus on the good things and forget the.
You don't get everything with every part for sure. You know, there's something which will be a point of discomfort, always, at least in my experience. Either you're going away for too long, or something about the other is a bit of a, you know, like a pebble in the shoe. But having said that, for me, the biggest factor is, will I be excited to be on set every day with this part? Because at the end of the day, when I'm with the scene on camera, will I love doing what I'm doing or not?
Exactly.
That's most important. And that, you know, that decision, for me at least, happens within 30 seconds or 1 minute of hearing a script or a one line.
Wow.
You
have good
I know
instincts
instantly.
then,
It's an instant love affair, immediately. If I'm not sure, then I take 2 days to figure out how am I going to say no. You know, in that sense.
Like, she epitomized a beautiful woman on screen. She epitomized a very strong woman on screen. You epitomized a brave woman on screen. And you are a mix of so many roles that you've done.
Bipolar.
Multifaceted. How important or crucial it is for your character to look good on screen? Every woman wants to look good.
To look the part.
Yeah.
You
The
can't
character
look
needs
good.
to
Like,
look
there
the
are
part.
times where
Yeah.
I can't say Sonia wasn't good looking. She was a village girl, and that's how anyone would look. Love Sonia.
Love Sonia.
Yeah, like, I can't play a girl from Uttar Pradesh and dress like I'm, you know, someone else just to look pretty. Also, talking about your previous question, I think relatability is so important. Having said that, you have the great script, you have the great director, great producer.
Sorry, I'm interjecting. See, Zeenat Aman did a film called Satyam Shivam Sundaram, where she had a big patch on her face.
Correct.
And she was a person who was actually known for her sex appeal and her beautiful face.
Yeah.
And she chose to do something like that. That's what I'm asking. If you were to be given a character who's probably an acid attack survivor,
I mean,
has a
why
big
not?
scar on her face, would you be able to, has the time come for a leading actress to be able to do such
I
roles?
think it's always been there. We'd remember Nargis Dutt in Mother India. You know, she was one of the most gorgeous women off screen to take, you know, the leap of faith she did. You are as beautiful as the truth you live in the character, in the moment on screen.
So beautifully
I
put.
really feel that.
It's Rakesh Om Prakash Mehra sir who, because you know, actors ki habit hoti hai. After the shot, you'll just go and check ki how was it? How was it? Monitor dikhte hai. Let's go watch it. We'll do. And I just realized that you know, sir made me sit and he made me realize that, are you not confident about the shot? I said, I am confident. And he's like, are you not confident about the director or the DOP or the hair or the makeup? They all are there to take care of
Multi
you.
band.
No, so
What can an
that's
actor say
great
after
learning.
that?
I learned and I was like, wow. And after that, there's no looking back. And I'm so happy because when I'm performing, I don't care about how my hair is, what my makeup is. But this is also schooling. Like, I learned, you know, through all of this. I'm very happy to be able, you know, where he would just say, this is your playground, just play.
And trust your team.
Yeah.
It is really liberating not to watch the monitor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I stopped doing it in 2008
Yeah.
because I realized that I have to focus on what I'm doing, exactly what she said. There are other people, they should be doing a good job, so I should make sure I surround myself with the right people. And that's it. Beyond that, नहीं तो मैं ये भी देखूं, वो भी देखूं, फिर आपका पैसा मुझे दे दीजिए. मैं तो लालची हूँ भाई. It boils down to that. मैं कर लूँगी, पेमेंट दे दो.
अच्छा, पैसे की बात चली, हम लोग बहुत सालों से बात कर रहे हैं पे पैरिटी की. I also kind of try and get this topic back into the conversation and discussion. And the longer we continue with the discussion, the shorter time it would take for us to reach there. What's your take on pay parity? Where are we right now? Where would we like to go?
मैंने तो शुरुआत किया है अभी.
हाँ.
I'm really happy with what I'm getting paid.
Okay.
Whenever there is a conversation, I just tell them that, you know, if this is what I deserve, please give me. I'll put my heart and soul. I'll do one film at a time. I'll make sure that I give my best. But I've just started my career, so I don't think about, for me, at this point of time, what is important is to get a good film.
Yeah. What about you?
You know, I don't know about pay parity because I'm not doing films alongside the big heroes. I think that's where it comes into play. But if you had to see the overall percentage of what I get paid, you know, within the budget of a film to what a hero gets paid, I think the percentage is the same. Now, their films cost 10 times what my films do. So obviously, I'm getting paid 10 times less. But within my construct, I'm happy.
You're happy.
That's a very healthy way of looking at it. And also, what you get paid is directly proportional to the people you're going to bring to your film. You see, at the end of the day, it's a business. How many people am I attracting to the film I'm acting in? And that automatically keeps changing, going up, going down. Relevance, you know, for instance, if I go abroad and if I'm away doing something for 6-7 months, when I come back, I have to work 3 times harder to come back to exactly where I left off. So it's not a you know, slow but sure progression as it tends to be here. So I have sometimes noticed that abroad things are very different, you know, where I'm working and it's an upward curve. But here, because of the year gap or something like that, it's dipped a bit or it's exactly where I left off, or in my head I'm like, "Arey yaar, but I was being offered this the last time I left." So, but that's a reality check. So it's also a business, and sometimes it shouldn't be taken personally or you know, from the perspective of a gender point of view. Sometimes you have to be neutral and look at it as the entertainment business. It is a business of emotions and personalities and people and stars, and what are you bringing to the table?
What's your relationship with money?
Very good, very healthy. I love to earn my money. I love to spend my money. I love it. I love it all. I don't shy away from wanting the good things in life because there's such a joy in spoiling people around you, or you know, generously enjoying the money that you're earning. We work hard for it. You know, I'm not born with a silver spoon or, you know, diamond shoes. I love earning what I do, and when I spend it, it brings me triple the amount of joy.
The world is witnessing a very beautiful cross-pollination these days. You worked with Dulquer Salman, who's such a different person. He said, we in Mumbai, the producers ask me to give at least 20 to 25 days for promotion. Utne mein to hum film shoot kar lete hain.
Exactly.
You know, and in other disciplines also, some actors just don't talk to media too often. There are many actors who are not on social media. They focus on their work and they are not too much on social media.
That's the dream.
That's a dream. I'm glad that these people are entering our industry, so the people who are the viewers of our industry are also getting acclimatized to a new work culture, new ways of looking at actors and how they should behave. What do you think of this new age of cross-pollination that is happening? What's the good thing that it's bringing along?
For me, the dream would be not to promote, to be honest. I feel like when you're promoting, you just have to, like, I think I have a side to my personality which is not the real me, which is when I'm promoting a film. Because you have to be funny and engaging, and you have to go to all these reality shows and be vivacious. And I feel like maybe sometimes a film that you're doing has got nothing to do with it, but that's just something you have to project. Earlier, I used to feel like, मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, but now I've come to terms with it and at peace with it. But I really feel like I'd rather just go on set and do my work, and then just maybe, I don't know, it's a utopian dream कि there's one common platform है जहाँ पे सबके trailer आ जाते हैं, and then people can decide, and we don't have to do this because
I think, you know, show the trailer, spend money on showing the trailer everywhere, let it be coming out of our ears. But you know, I think it's pointless when we do interviews where we're talking about especially when someone asks me about the character, I don't know what to say. Because the character has been an experience for me, right? To articulate this, and how am I going to then, my fallback is always profession. I start by saying, you know, she's a journalist who's But that's not what.
That's not what the
That's
character
a
is.
small part.
Yes.
Of course, as women characters, I'm also, I tend to enjoy the fact that she's defined by her profession and she has a larger purpose and all of that. But I feel that's what's exhausting about promotions. I think we have to, I believe for Drishyam,
They didn't march.
and look at it, that's the most successful film today.
Yeah.
Because people decided to go watch it.
Yeah.
So irrespective of आप क्या बोलते हैं उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Social media पे आपके कितने followers हैं उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. No, also I believe for newer actors, Huma, when you're getting cast, apparently you get asked what is your following, and depending on that, then
I have lost
right.
on
I've
so
actually
many
done
brands
same
because I
stuff.
don't have followers.
Insane.
that's crazy, right?
Brands is a different thing
But you
altogether,
know,
right? Because
Huma,
brands is right now also moving away from
No, but
star-based.
for casting also, when your name has been discussed amongst the casting directors or whatever, the question is how much fan following she has.
Yeah.
I lost on a very nice film because I did not have followers. I was like, now what do I have to do? I have to be an influencer.
Yeah, and I'm
mean,
saying,
I don't
and
look
that
on
troubles
that.
me.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not a social media influencer. I'm an actor.
Yeah, I act.
It's
Like in the
almost
West
become a
also,
parallel
like,
job.
In the West also, a lot of actors are on whatever, but they don't behave like influencers. I'm sorry, but most of us, I'm including myself also, sometimes you just behave like influencers. I'm like, but my job is not to do this, my job is to act. And there's a big difference. And somewhere I think it's just become so blurred. It's become really blurred. Like, how does you have 10 million followers doesn't mean you can do that part well or not.
And
Exactly.
forget that. If your film is good, people will go and watch it irrespective.
Irrespective.
Yeah, even if it doesn't get a great opening. But if your film is crap, or then it doesn't matter
Doesn't matter.
Yes.
what your following is.
Look at Tabu.
I mean,
oh
my
God,
God.
I was
Tabu, how
name
relevant
just popped
she is
into my head.
till now.
And I find her like so amazing because she's like top of her game. She's been part of 2 of the biggest films of the year.
Yeah.
She doesn't do any promotions. I don't remember the last time, like barely you'll see her
That's a
doing
life
whatever.
goal.
And it's a life
You know
goal.
what will
It's
be
a life
really
goal.
interesting is to, after the film is released, and just talk about the characters, because most of the time there are like spoilers we can't give. And I think it's really nice as to what the process is, and not just actors, but the the person who's the cinematographer, be it the director, be it the editor, or the sound, the person who's recording the sound.
It's high time we do that.
And it's beautiful, like on a movie set. It's not just about hair, makeup, outfit, or the story. It's about all the technicians who are. I think they also deserve.
But having said that, we have to accept that it is a visual medium where what you see is what you want to know more about. So people who are interested in the process of filmmaking, I think would be interested in that. But I also feel we're decoding the process too much.
Right.
Taking
away the magic.
I've never been on an action film set, and the other day I saw on Instagram, I saw the scene of a war scene of some film being shot, and I was like, I don't want to know. Don't tell me so much. Let me feel it. It's called suspension of disbelief. But today there is no suspension of disbelief. We are robbing people of that.
True.
By putting out so much. Kitna dete rahoge
And the
yaar
other thing
information.
is this whole gym look and airport look and whatnot.
What do you
Bhaiya,
feel about
matlab,
that?
It's like I'm saying if I'm going to be seen 20, like honestly I decided I don't want to be part of this circus because I'm like, it's troubling to see me. Sometimes I don't want to dress up. I want to put my hair in a juda and I want to wear a dirty shirt and I want to just quickly run and catch
But
a
doesn't
flight.
social media and these reels that we make and lots of all these new things that have come up pay well? I think it's a big way of earning more money these days.
So that's the catch-22 situation because it's become a parallel job almost. It's become a requirement now. In my off time, I almost have anxiety sometimes that am I okay to just not do anything on social media right now?
Does your
or what?
manager ask you, ki kuch kijiye?
Nobody has to ask anyone. These are just projections also because you're also wondering ki, am I doing the right thing? Am I visiting this place because I want 10 pictures to put up on my social media? Or am I enjoying where I am? So it's become a little bit of a circus, no doubt. And it becomes troublesome sometimes because everybody doesn't have a personality that you want to put out there. all
Like
the
I'm a
time.
very private person,
You have
I
to sound
can't
always
talk about
happy, always excited,
you're
always
not.
beautiful.
And there are times when you're getting ready for something and you're in the worst mood. And in that moment, you know, you don't want to be filmed, and you know, you don't want people like
making person
be
behind
cute.
you. Yeah, that's
You
the
know?
other
No, no, and you know, I've just recently I've started doing these reels on
They're
Instagram,
very
which I'm
cute, by the
enjoying.
way.
Thank you.
You enjoy them.
They're lovely.
They are fun. They are fun.
Thank you. But you know, the thing is that I've been told by my team forever to be more active on social media, but I've never enjoyed it.
Okay.
I started doing it when I felt like it.
Yes, and that's
And I only do the ones that I want to. So it is your team's job to tell you, you know, they are here to get you the best, you know, but you have to do what feels correct to you. You have to be authentic. You know, 100 log 200 cheeze bolenge, and they're meaning it well, because you know, you are finally, you are an entity that they are handling, and they want to get you the best brands, and they want to get you more visibility and all that. But you have to define what that means for you.
And also, you know, you do movies, you do endorsements, and you do all the social media. How much time is left for your personal lives?
मेरे पास तो बहुत है.
मेरे पास भी बहुत फालतू चीजें के पास हमेशा टाइम है.
How do you balance? What do you do in your personal life? How do you make time? And how do you make sure that my personal life is as rocking as my professional life?
See,
it's also important, right?
By not committing to something that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
You know, like staying true and real to your nature. That 2 days I'll be excited for the 5 people who are telling me, okay, do this, and then the 3rd day I'll be like, nah, I don't want to do it. I just want to do something else. I want to go for a long drive. I want to call my mom. I want to play with my cat. So whatever there is, you know, in my life, which brings me pointless joy, but a lot of joy. You know, there is no end
I found a
game.
cat person. I'm so happy.
Do you have pets? Do you have pets?
I
I
have.
have 2 cats. I have 2
a dog.
indie cats.
It's a lot of work.
Not really.
Not really. Cats are
Cats
like
are
the
very fuss-free.
easiest.
They're very chilled out.
Yeah,
no
very chill.
emotional stuff. They're very relaxed, very cute.
They might not be emotional, but you get emotionally attached to pets, no? And
mean,
people
they're
who are
the
need
It's
to
very
They're
hard
the
to leave
best.
them behind.
Pets are amazing.
It's
Yeah.
a lovely thing to come home
Yeah.
to, you know. They would just like,
to a being, to a living being
Yeah,
who lives
to-
with
to
you in
someone
the
Always
same
happy to
house.
see you
So
and is
innocent and
welcoming
yeah.
and no demands and like.
Except for food and, you know, treats.
Yeah.
but Nimrat, I
Like
don't know
my-
if you agree with this, but you know, I just observe my cats, and there's so much to learn from them. You know, as an actor also, the qualities, the way they, you know.
You're right.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like sometimes I just keep staring at him, and it's.
Except I'm not missing a cat teacher.
Sorry.
When you're done with your runs, come upstairs one day.
I will. I will.
But in acting school, you know about that. In acting school, they actually teach you how to behave like an animal.
Yeah.
And a girl is supposed to mimic a cat for you to get the right posture of a Duchess of England or something like that. If you play a character like that, they teach you
Actually,
animal.
I help you during Sitaram.
Yes.
Because I'm nothing like that character. I'm nothing like that. I don't know what Princess Kati is also like. So yeah. But the question that you asked earlier.
Arey yaar. Mrunal, but
Judge Saab.
I want to go back to the 5th question you
अधूरी रह
asked
गई थी।
because I did not give my thoughts.
Acha, well,
Okay,
go on.
I just lost my
Lost
chain
it?
of thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in the end, what is it that you're still waiting for and is still eluding you? Anything. It might be a role, or it might be an experience, it might be a anything. तिश्नगी, किस चीज की तिश्नगी रह गई है अभी भी
क्या
जिंदगी?
क्या 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 क्या
Tishnagi.
किस चीज की तिश्नगी रह गई है जिंदगी में?
Tishnagi. Yeah. Adab.
I learned 2 words. Irshad. Tishnagi.
Arshad, pagal. Arshad.
Acha,
Arshad.
And Tishnagi.
Tishnagi.
Am I saying it
Reh
right?
gayi hai.
I
Tishnagi.
always learn, I have to say this, I always learn something from Atika after my interview with her. Because she speaks so
So
beautifully.
well. She does.
English ho, Urdu ho,
But do you remember it after?
Tishnagi I will.
So किस चीज की तिश्नगी
She's ready.
अभी भी रह गई है? Tell me.
I really want to do films for kids,
Oh.
for children, fantasy. Because I feel like they're losing their innocence at a really early age.
Very.
They've been dancing to all sorts of songs.
Yeah, and watching violence
And
on screen.
violence on screen, and the funny thing is their parents are encouraging them to do so. I'm sorry, but whenever there is, you know, Christmas, I want to take my niece and nephews to the theater to watch movies. Except Spider-Man or Marvel movies, I don't think there's any release for children. There are, I'm not saying that there's not, but I wish there were more.
Very nice.
That's
a
something
very
that I
good thought.
really want to be a part of.
Very good thought. You, Vidya?
I just want to be surprised.
You are that kind of a person who loves surprises and
Yeah, I want something to blow my mind, and I want to do something that I haven't imagined myself doing. So all this as an actor. Personally, I don't know. Just
Mr. Kapoor romantic आदमी है?
I make up for. I think we balance it out. I make up for the days he's not.
Are you a romantic person?
Oh, and how?
Yeah. वो मैंने जब परिणीता देखी थी तभी मुझे समझ में आ गया था ये परिणीता नहीं है इसमें बहुत कुछ
मैं तो
विद्या का
हर
भी है।
चीज में रोमांस देख सकती हूँ ये बकलावा में भी बकलावा इसी की तृष्णगी रह गई
Don't make me laugh. I'll get a coughing.
Okay, Nimrat.
I'm going to do a Mrunal on you. What was the question?
किस चीज की तृष्णगी रह गई है?
तृष्णगी?
हाँ, किस चीज की आरज़ू प्यास बाकी है जिंदगी में as a person, as a human being?
I think एक wish है कि कभी ना curiosity और enthusiasm ना जाए and कभी ऐसा ना लगे कि कि अब मैं बोर हो रही हूँ या अब मुझे मज़ा नहीं आ रहा वो मज़ा ना जाए लाइफ से बस that is something I want to protect. It's like a holy fire or a holy sort of a like a child you are protecting within you कि वो enthusiasm, curiosity और एक जो naive not knowing about everything होता है ना because with time and with experience with films we do with people we meet वो impressions बनते जाते हैं यार ये ऐसा है वो वैसे हैं ये है वो है jaded ना हो कभी भी I want to never be jaded I want to be free of all judgments and I want to remain the way I am. I want to.
But your army upbringing would have really helped you as an actor because
You're right,
they move.
but it's so far back, Atika. Like my army life pretty much ended at age 11. The cantonment life was over at that time. Okay. So after that, it's just been life experiences, choices, this, that, and I've been in Mumbai now for 17 years. Okay. So that's a very long time and every experience makes you a little bit different, which is wonderful and welcome. I just want to keep that inner child bright and alive.
Very nice, very nice.
So that's my quest in life.
Yeah, I've become a fan
उसका
of
क्या होता है
Nimrat.
word उर्दू में?
The way she articulates.
ये ओशो बाबा है हमारी.
In a pink dress. But you know what's strange when she was saying this I actually remember the first time we met I had a flash of Dada's office.
What was that?
Wow.
17, was that 17 years ago? Longer
That was
than
in
that.
2004.
Oh wow.
2004.
18 years
And
ago.
fresh off the boat, as they say, I was roaming around with my photographs, and with the sticker's name and number behind. And I had gone to Pradeep Dada's office, Pradeep Sarkar's, and Apocalypso in Bandra. वहाँ पे उनका ऑफिस था तो इनके म्यूजिक वीडियोस की तो मैं इनकी मतलब
पुरानी मुरीद
मतलब like I'm a fan. She's a life example and a possibility of things. She's come in and opened and created doors and walls and she's a mega personality.
तुम मेरी मैं तुम्हारा
कौन सा कभी आना तू मेरी गली
अच्छा हाँ सॉरी हाँ
इनकी जो आंखें होती थी स्क्रीन पे I was like यार I want to do work like this girl so I would not even say to anyone in college or anything because people were like yeah whatever अपने करो chartered accountancy बड़े आए so I met her at the reception of the office and there she was so plainly dressed and sweetly like there she's like yes hi and I said
I was assisting Dada those days
okay
and I met her and I said aren't you that so she said yes and she said where are you from so I said I'm from Delhi and I'm here and I want to do this and I don't know who to meet she said you come to Banganga right
yeah
you asked me to come there and we sat I think a few days later where she was working on an ad film with Dada
and Rani
was
in the ad film
and
I was assisting
I didn't get to see I just knew that she was there somewhere and we sat on the steps in Banganga which is like Banganga आपने देखा बालकेश्वर में it's like a little mini Haridwar of Banaras in the middle of nowhere it's beautiful तो वहाँ पे बैठ के and एक तो मेरे लिए यही I was like She's actually here and she's telling me what to do and whom to meet. And she actually gave me my first list of people that I went to.
Wow, so sweet.
Yes, indeed. And I have started my work from there, you know, coordinators उस time, you know, coordinators and people.
But I just had a flash. She said 17 years, and I just had a flash of her walking into the office.
Yeah. But you know, when you say ki she's actually in a way honed you as an actor and also helped you in the initial years of your life, there is a word called namak adaigi. When her producer husband makes the film, price कम कर दीजिए.
प्राइस कम कर देना यार वो पे पैरेंट की बात कर ये और पैसे काट रही है
नहीं और फायदा उसको हो
I know, why would Siddharth get benefit?
Exactly.
A slip of the tongue is no fault of the mind. Whoever checks it is always unkind.
But anyway, namak adaigi.
नमक अदायगी.
आपका सवाल क्या था?
But I must add to this. You know, when I was doing Kumkum Bhagya, we have a mutual friend, Supriya Shukla.
We're doing this,
ma'am, and she would, you know, there were times where I was not really happy where I was at. I wanted to do a lot of things, but I felt like I was not able to do so. So, and I just didn't know how to start, like whether I should assist someone or whether I should go out, do auditions, or I had no clue, and my family had no idea what I was up to. That's when there were times where I would just give up. I would have like meltdown sessions, and Supriya Shukla, who played my mother, I would call her Ma, I still call her Ma. And she would give me Vidya Ma'am's example as to how her journey was. She started, she worked on herself, she assisted Dada for that particular time. So she's like, your time will come, you just need to have patience. And ma'am, I don't know, but if I have ever told you this, but you have opened the doors for so many actresses out there, and I'm so thankful to just be sitting right next to you and, you know, having this conversation. I'm sure the camera must have kind of just mesmerized and looking at us.
Thank you. I'm going to go out with a bigger head now.
It's true, because you've really opened the floodgates in that sense, you know, when and it must have been a much tougher battle to fight. So the fact that all of us are sitting here, I mean, a big chunk of that credit goes to you and the films that you did and spearheaded and made them work, and just the range of characters you played. So
Thank you.
We love you.
एक बार ऐसे तथास्तु.
No, but you know, I'm not just saying this, but I think it's even those actresses who played bit roles or did only 2 or 3 songs. I think it's the efforts of all of them that we're standing here today.
Yes, it's very true.
I really think it's and the
Because
angst of all our mothers to do more in life, and you know,
and we're standing on all their shoulders, and they're like,
सही बात है. Okay.
But thank you.
love you.
Lastly, Huma, what is your
Tishnagi.
अब इतनी सारी वही है मेरा है कि बस अच्छा ऊपर वाला काम चलाता रहे, माल वाल मिलता रहे.
थोड़ा no, don't say माल, please. Say
मतलब पैसा.
क्यों इसमें भी कुछ intention?
Actors माल बोलते हैं तो problem हो जाती है.
कृष्णगी निकल जाएगी हम पे कुछ.
अच्छा काम, अच्छा पैसा, इज्जत, शोहरत, सेहत, बस यही छोटी सी हमारी आरजुएं हैं. सुकून, शुक्र में जियो और सब्र रखो. So 3 स हो चुके हैं हमारे. नहीं, but yeah, just to have fun, just have fun, play different characters.
I thought next you'll say sex का कुछ.
That is off camera, but now that you said it, I don't mind.
Why not?
I think this is where you should end the interview.
And you know, if someone were to write a book on you, on each one of you, what would you like the book to be titled as, or what would you like your epitaph to read? The one line everybody has in their mind कि ये हूँ मैं, असली मैं, वो क्या है?
Oh God, एक जिंदगी काफी नहीं है? Can I go with that? As cheesy as that sounds.
Okay, what you?
Tishnagi.
Nice.
Dot.
Amazing. You Vidya?
I don't care what they write on my epitaph. Because
That's the title.
Yeah, but
I think entertainment.
चली गई तो फिर as long as I'm here, be good to me. उसके बाद क्या लिखोगे?
She didn't care much. She cared, but she didn't.
I don't know.
Mrunal Kaur, what was your question?
I don't think I've reached that stage to even. I'm just so happy that you asked me this question.
We know.
Someone would write a book on me. Wow, how interesting is that? कोई book ही लिख दे यार, title जो देना है दे दो. I'll be very happy.
Yeah, just happy person.
I'll be a very happy person.
Amazing. What a lovely session. What a lovely conversation, and love the laughters and the camaraderie.
हर साल आप ऐसे ही बोलती है.
हर साल सबको सेम लाइन चिपकाती है. बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं.
Say something unusual to us.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Come on,
Surprise
Atika.
us.
Oh,
Come
God.
on, Atika.
क्या बोलूं? अच्छा
क्या इस कॉन्वर्सेशन के बाद आप में कोई तिश्नगी रह गई है?
मेरे अंदर बहुत तिश्नगी अभी नहीं रह गई है, क्योंकि इतना खुशी का जाम बड़ा ग्लास पिया है मैंने पिछले 1 घंटे में कि मुझे बहुत मजा आया है.
कोई हसरत, कोई आरज़ू, पक्का ऑल कंप्लीट.
ऑल कंप्लीट. अरे नहीं, लेकिन पता है मैंने अभी एक नई नज़्म लिखी, उसकी आखिरी 4 लाइनें हैं कि महंगे लिबास, कीमती जेवर, ऊंची सैंडल. महंगे लिबास, कीमती जेवर, ऊंची सैंडल, मुखौटों के पीछे के मलाल पहचान ना पाओगे. कामयाब औरतें कुछ इस अदा से मुस्कुराती हैं कि उनके दिल का असल हाल कभी जान ना पाओ.
क्या बात है.
इरशाद.
That's a mic drop.
Beautiful. My job.
Thank you.
और जिनको ये समझ नहीं आया उनके लिए दूर से देखा. One मासी शेर.
No, lovely. That's a great way to
End
end
this
this
conversation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
हमें एक्चुअली बहुत मजा आया.
और ये हम दूसरे वालों को नहीं बोलेंगे.
Great.